I think we are live. Okay, hi, my name is Peter Brusso for 101 Small Business Mastermind. And with us today, we have our standard cadre. We've got Dick, though, back in Connecticut in his bunker. Say good morning, Dick.
Good morning, Dick. I'm in my underground bunker.
Bunker, that's right. In some unknown place there in Connecticut. And say good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Mark Levin. Is that a Mark Levin
introduction?
Mark Levin. That's right. Yes, I know it sounded familiar. Good morning.
Yes, we're talking to our leader. We found our leader in his bunker. There you go.
Ain't that right, Mr. Producer? Okay.
Okay, now.
Okay.
All right, my turn. I'm going to share, and I'm going to get over here, and I'm going to do this. And let me see. First up, Twitter lays off 8% of the employees. That's 336 employees, by the way. And when I read this thing, this primarily the product and engineering teams that are going to see the significant layoffs. But the CEO, his name is Dorsey, says that he believes the engineering division will function best with a smaller and nimbler team. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when the engineers writing code get cut, code doesn't get written, I don't know who takes up all that slack, and I don't know how you can make a statement like this that it's going to actually run better. But when I read this, I said, I'm glad I'm an entrepreneur. You know, it's one of those cases where, you know, you're your own boss, and although it's fun to have a guaranteed paycheck supposedly coming in each week or each month, however they pay it. But there you go. That's the first thing I wanted to share. And then my next share, we touched on this last week. There are 6 new Google Drive features. And we talked a little bit about it. We showed a little show and tell. But you can now do, and Dick, we ought to try this for you, in Docs you can use a microphone and dictate, very much like Dragon Naturally Speaking. And I don't know about you guys, but the speech recognition engine for Google seems to work pretty darn well. So you can chunk a lot of content up using this approach for a website. Go ahead, Dick. Did you have something to say?
Yeah, I used it, Peter. It's very good.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, then we don't need to worry about chunking up content anymore. There you go.
Yeah.
Also, and this isn't much for us, I don't think, but you can now research while you're in Google Docs. You can do research. So I don't know. I haven't tried that feature. They also have some templates for different things you might want to put out there. Let's see, new changes button. If you're collaborating, which is kind of neat, you don't always know what was put in there, and now you can just with a click of a button, it'll show you what's changed. Sheets are always they're like Excel, fantastic. We've covered the new forms, which is unbelievable. So that was one thing I wanted to share about that people can use. Also, here are some WordPress themes. I purchased these. You can get them all in one bundle, and they're phenomenal. And that's the good news. And well, here I can even do a demo of this one, which I think I can do here. And but it's a new trend. What it is a website with one page, basically. So as you scroll down, here's your services section, and all of these are, and you can put in different pictures, whatever you want. But here's a portfolio section. And how beautiful is this? You know, and it's just so nice to have everything literally all in one spot for a website. And so I wanted to point out that these new themes are pretty crazy good. Whoops, I blew it there. And I actually, you have to have a PhD to use them. They aren't easy, but apparently they're all pretty much written the same way. Once you learn one, you can get it. You get to know your way around any of them. So I actually did an online ministries website with one of these, and but how pretty is this? It's a very nice look to it, you know.
Beautiful.
And
Beautiful.
this is a video that I had taken of the minister in Second Life, you know. But it's just gorgeous, I thought, you know. And when you first move into it, these things fly in from left and right. And so I also use one for Carrie Anderson. Now this isn't a one theme. This is just pretty much a static page type thing, but it was literally the same format as the other ones that I've used. So I thought that was pretty good. So that's oh, I did have to say one more thing about them. So I had a problem with the theme. This theme in particular, I was trying to change the background color, and only half of it would change. My experience with putting in requests for help on their themes have been poor, very, very poor, ultimately. Not these guys. So this was a new group that I bought from, this themey Mithy. But anyway, I put in a request, and they got back with me within almost minutes, and it worked right away. It was unbelievable. So I thought, wow, good service to these guys. So if anybody's out there that's listening and they want to do WordPress, this is the place you probably want to go. And they seem to be doing a great job, and they've got these great themes, and you can demo each one and see what it's like before you purchase any of them. But pretty nice, huh?
Yeah,
Very nice.
Right.
I have some comments about that.
Okay, let me get over here, back over here. Whoops. Hello. Okay, and yes?
Yes, on that one-page website, Phil, who was on a couple weeks ago, just did a website for one of his health and wellness clients in the Chicago area, and he was showing to me I guess Tuesday, and he had all the navigation bars at the top, but when you clicked on it, it just went to a place on the same page.
Right.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, and you could either click or you could just, and when you scroll, you look at stuff that you wouldn't have looked at because you wouldn't have clicked on it at the top, but you had to look at it as you were scrolling down, and it was just all pictures, all visual, and it was really, really pretty. And I saw the same thing with your stuff.
Right.
You know, that may be the new trend. I
think it is
with this one-page website.
That's pretty much true. I mean, you can add pages like I did,
right.
But I think that in fact when you do the scroll down and things are flying in, it's very artistically nice to the eye, and eye tracks it, and they've done a pretty decent job at modernizing this stuff and whatnot. And you know, it's interesting because the designers. The good news is that there's all these designers. The bad news is there's all these designers. You know, it's good and bad, but they watch what Apple does a lot. And Apple was the first ones to go to a full page picture, you know, screen, the whole thing, you know, and that's why I think you're seeing these designers going down that line of full screen pictures like that, coming off kind of. I think that's appropriate for some businesses for sure. Other ones, like when I struggled with Carrie Anderson's site, in the sake that she's a realtor, and you don't want pages of houses flying by and stuff. You kind of want to get them centered into, you know, making a purchase there. So I opted in for one of the themes that they had that wasn't the all-in-one.
Well, I talked about Billy Jean. Remember Billy Jean, the guy from San Diego who does Facebook ads?
Right.
I talked about that 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I'm still going over his stuff again and again. Really good stuff. Anyway, one of his first campaigns, which was very successful, you know, he did the video, the Facebook ad, and when you clicked on it, you went to what he calls his landing page, and on the landing page had one box and one box only, which was your opt-in where you put in your thing. But behind that one, which is very small, I'm looking at one small box on the screen, behind it, he had a video playing of a person, it was a wetsuit, of a skier using the wetsuit. And you saw it because obviously your eyes went followed it, but it just reinforced how much you wanted that wetsuit because you could see somebody using it, and it just repeated and repeated it, and so you did opt in, but you enjoyed it. And it was just as opposed to having a lot of stuff with bullets and all sorts of CTAs and every call to actions. He had, hey, here's a coupon. Here it is. Fill in your stuff. Click here, and I'm saying, wow. But he had the full screen video with just a little box in the center. And again, it's like you said, Apple, I think, was the first one to do that with his full page picture. He did a full page, no sound video, just a video of a guy surfing.
PayPal has a similar one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get to it, and I'll show you.
And when you do, go ahead.
Oh yes, there it is. Let me get back over here to share. All right, do that. Share. Okay, so you'll see.
There it is. Yeah.
Well, it stopped, but if I refresh it, there. See him moving in the back?
Yeah.
It's like he's buying something off of PayPal or using it, but there again, full-size screen. When it gets done, it darkens. It's done.
Right.
You know, so pretty interesting.
And yet, if you talk to a web developer 5 years ago, they would have said, "Oh no, you're going to distract from the goal. The goal is helping fill in that." Well, in this case, it didn't, right?
No, it didn't. It actually enhances it.
Right. So I love it. I love change. So, okay, good.
You know, the only thing that doesn't change is change itself.
Right. Man, I have to think about it. Yeah, I'm thinking about that.
Think that one out.
Yeah, that's going to take me a while.
So.
I'll tell you, but about 3 o'clock this afternoon, I'm going to break out and say, just go flying, because that's how good. Okay, we got it.
What's, let me see here. I think, well, I never seem to get this thing queued up on time, but I believe.
Oh, there's the music to my ears. We love it. Thank you. That sound means it's time for another twin this week in the news. Business lessons we can get from people making news. This week's twin is different. I don't know if everyone, but just about everyone I've done in the past is a guy or a woman with a good idea, had a lot of obstacles, and what they did to overcome those obstacles. Today's twin is just the opposite. This person's biggest obstacle was her success. Now you see, you learn. Frank Tarkenton, Dick knows who he is, great quarterback, just has a book about failure. Is a great lesson. I think we're going to learn some lessons from this one. Who we're going to learn from her success, how she handles success. And I think okay. So this week's twin is, hey, Reese Spikerman. Thank you for the small business lesson. And the question always is, who the heck is Reese Spikerman? Well, let me tell you, Reese is a web designer, a la Peter.
Oh, boy.
Yes, and her work is so good that people talked about it. And they talked about it in their groups. They talked about it in their business meetings. And because her work was really good. It wasn't the same as everybody else's. And a lot of people began to notice, and a lot of people started asking her for quotes. So if she would do work on their website. Now, Reese is really good at web page design, a la Peter. Color palettes that attract visitors. I had no how important colors were, because I think I'm colorblind.
I missed the opportunity to geek out in my section, so okay. I may have to come back.
Okay, all right. Well, on colors.
About colors.
Oh yeah, I guess that's really important. I didn't know that. Okay. So she's really good at color palettes. Like I said, I have trouble matching socks, but she's also really good at properly placing your CTAs or your call to action. Okay. And Peter, and as I was doing my research, I thought of you because I believe I know about the colors. I knew your web design and everything else. Well, she got so many inquiries for quotes that she went to her husband and says, hey, you got to manage this. I'm getting too many requests for quotes. So her husband, I don't know if he was an engineer or whatever he was, he put all of the requests into one of three categories. And I think this is rather interesting. The first one was the obvious one. Prospects who had a lot of money to spend, they said this would make great clients for Reese. And that was easy. Prospects without any money to spend, that was not the type that he wanted his wife to work on, so that was easy. Okay? But the third one is what most small business owners struggle with. Okay? The third prospects, they had some money to spend, they were nice people, they had interesting work, but they did not need all of Reese's skill sets. They did not need the Reese full package of stuff. They wanted a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and we all come across those. And I know, Pete, I know that you do.
Almost every day.
Right. So the third category was troublesome because Reese did not want to send them away, but she didn't want to ignore or not spend time on her clients that had a lot of money. So rather than send these, I call them third category prospects, to other designers, here's what she did. She created a series of specific website themes and website headers that customers, prospects could purchase as is for a flat fee. Okay, you did that with your WordPress themes. Mm-hmm. These options were not the same as the customized site that Reese was famous for, but they were a hell of a lot better than what was available on the internet, on the market. And as Reese said, hey, my service costs a lot of money because everything that I do is customized to fit you and that type of thing. But if you need just a general solution, you can get a Reese product for much less money. And people bought it. And then I thought of you again, Peter. Here's another thing that came out. Many times, people didn't know what they wanted, so they went to Reese and said, hey, could you review my current website and give me some suggestions? And Reese said gladly for $375 per review. And they became so popular that she put it on her website and just put a buy button and she scheduled it. And for this fee, Reese reviews these 6 areas for improvement or change. And now, again, and I was trying, before I knew I stopped this, well, what would the 6 areas be? Well, I don't know enough to come up with that. But look at this, and I wouldn't come up with 2 or 3 of these. Number 1, she looked at your sidebar and made recommendations for the sidebar cleanup. I didn't know that was important. Number 2, the layout of your website. Was it laid out properly, logically, and attractively? Number 3, what are your content and search engine strategies? Important part of any website. Number 4, here's that word again, color. Is your color the right palette, the right that does what attracts who you want to attract? Number 6, your fonts and typography. I can see that's pretty important. And number 6 was the navigation. And that's what she did. For 300, now maybe it took her 10 minutes, maybe it took her 3 hours. I have no idea how long it took her. But she says, gladly do it. And you know what, Peter? They bought it. They bought it because they couldn't get it for free. Now, to become her future client, Reese says right up in her website, here are the 3 things I require of my future clients. If you match them, I'd love to consider working with you. If not, I suggest you go someplace else. Number 1, you must be respectful, you must be professional, and you must take your business seriously, because I'm going to take my work seriously. If you're not serious about your business, I'm not going to invest my time. I have other people waiting for my time. She gets rid of a lot of tire kickers. A lot of time. Number 2, and this one takes cojones, I guess I'll use the Spanish term. Our strength as her team is crafting a memorable visual story to represent your business. Okay? It's customized. There's no package here. It's customized. She works hard with it. And I prefer to do only the design, and you take it to a third party for coding. Okay? So she says, hey, I'll do it, and she'll do it in a minute. if you want Reese to do the design and brand your blog or website without any developer coding, she charges $3,200 for blogs and $4,400 for websites. That's just for the design. Now, if you want a fully coded website, here's what she charges. They start at $5,200 for blogs and $7,800 for multiple page websites with a minimum of 6 weeks project development timeline. And as she says in number 3, you must also understand that our magic takes time and lots of creative energy. Either agree with these or we appreciate your inquiry, but we're not interested. Interesting, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So here's the small business lessons. I got 3 of them out of my research for Reese Spikeman. Number 1, Reese understands the value that she brings to her clients. And she didn't quote this, but I'm going to quote one of my favorite terms. She knows that she is the prize. Right? And because this is my belief, because she is so proud of her work, people don't negotiate prices with her. They said, I understand. There's no discount. Reese, number 2, Reese does not work for free. As I said, she charges $375 for a website review. Here's my lesson. If you are willing to do quality work for free, how much do you value your time? And why should your prospects value it any higher than you do? And that applies to me. Now, I'm talking about me in this case. And that's a lesson I learned. And number 3, restates in no uncertain terms what she requires from her clients. They know going in, and there are no surprises when she works on their project. She says, if you remember, bada boom, and it's amazing how the mindset, if you know the rules, the mindset is a lot more easier to work with than a mindset, well, I didn't know you were going to do this. What do you mean you're not, that type of thing? You avoid a lot of crap. And my question at the end of my 20 years, what lessons can you take from Reese Spikeman? By the way, Peter, her website, by the way, it's a 2-page website. 1 page is strictly for the $375. It's designedbyreese.com. Or designersbyreese.com is her website. And that's my twin for this week, gentlemen. Thank you.
Wow. Even on a website, you're geeking out now.
I know. This is so sad. So sad.
This is like history here. Geeking out.
This is not good. I was just so impressed with her story and how proud she is, and how I guess pride is, and how much she values herself. She is really, she knows how good she is.
By the way, here's your color palette.
Yeah, man. See, Peter, again, I know it's important. I just never even thought of it. Hey, I put Christmas red and green. I think that's good.
I'm colorblind as well, and so I use these palettes particularly. You can actually get in and take a look at it. And what I do is I'll cut out, like if I want this one here, they're all complementary to each other, then I'll take it to Photoshop and then look at the RGB value for each one of these. Yes. And that's how I work it. But there are ones you can, this is like a bathroom color set for bathrooms and stuff like that. So, but you've got color palettes up the wazoo. Out there, and some are designed for specifically for websites, and other ones are, of course, are not. But you can certainly hunt for website color palettes and find them. But somebody with normal color vision has taken the opportunity to gather these together. And so, from a design standpoint, you see the one you want. You might grab something like number 68 here. Let's do my favorite 69 there. And you wouldn't use. You're going to use these colors wisely. You probably want to leave the font colors alone, leave them black more or less. But design features using these particular colors. So there you go.
So you agree with Reese that color palette is important?
Oh, absolutely. And it's. it's a funny thing, but there's different color palettes for different types of things. You see, like here's a living room color palette, here's a front hall color palette, and you have to decide from a website. I should have searched for website color palettes, but the answer is yes.
Okay, let me give you lesson number 4 from Lee Spikerman. Okay, that you just taught me, by the way. I just came from our discussion with you. I'm going to venture to say that every good web designer knows about color palettes, correct?
Oh, we should, yes.
Okay. You know what Reese does? She
What?
promotes it that she's really good at color palettes. And that makes her that much more valuable, doesn't it? Even though everybody else does it, she says, hey, I'm an expert at color palettes. And
Well,
son of a gun. She probably is.
My only recourse to that statement is if you are the client and I'm telling you I have to educate you to color palettes and I'm really good at them, that's not a good place to be at, I think.
She's not. No, okay, let me rephrase that. She's not educating. She's promoting her skill as a culprit. Here's what she probably says. Well, I'm sure you may be aware that color palettes is extremely important to attract and keep visitors on your website. That is one of my specialty. Boom.
Right.
Boom. And she says, "Wow, Johnny down the street does web design. He doesn't mention color palettes. This is really important. Okay, I can see. Research. Yeah, that's important. That's a bingo. It was a whole perception thing that she hit him with."
Yeah, I agree with what she's saying. I think navigation is one of the premium features of any website. How easy is it to navigate, and do you funnel them down to a call to action? That kind of stuff. What is the call to action and where their eye is going to go, et cetera, et cetera. Very, very important in the design of a website.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think some of the templates that I've been playing with almost automatically have that built into them. They're pretty nice that way. Just like for Carrie Anderson, I didn't want your eye away. I wanted, this is what you're looking for. I'm serving up a house for you to look at or something, But the other ones, like our own Coachella Valley Mastermind.com website, is layered that way,
Okay.
So, yeah, anyway, that's good. That's your twin, and you're sticking to it, right?
Yeah.
So, yes. Peter, as I'm just sitting here listening to you and Frank, I got a question. Mm-hmm. Is color palettes the most important thing, or is call action where it leads to the most important thing, or is the most important thing to sit down with your client and identify his needs and what he wants, his strategies, and then you put all these other things into play? But is it the most important thing? They have to tell you what they want to get out of the website. What's the purpose of the website? Would you say that's true or not?
Yes, absolutely true. And because we've done it on your website.
Yeah.
What are your 3 products? And if I didn't know what those 3 products were, we wouldn't have had those 3 boxes up there to steer in the right direction.
Right. Yeah.
So the answer is yes. I think that's the crucial thing, is sitting down with your client and getting to understand what they want out of their website. Oh, yes, Frank.
You're gonna expect this, right? That's what I do. You go left, I go right. That's just I'm a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Well, I almost always sat down and talked with the client to find out what they want the website to do. What's the purpose? What's the juice you want in this engine? And you want a high octane, you want it, lead free, whatever. And and then after that, it's up to the designer to pick and choose. I many times even ask them, would you give me some examples of websites you like, and why do you like them? And that gives me an idea of what their taste is. It's really disheartening to build a site that you really think hits the mark and they hate it.
Yeah,
I've had that happen. And it's heartbreaking. Yeah. So there you go.
Okay, are you ready?
Frank, so hit me, Frank.
I'm going to hit you right now.
Okay.
Let me tell you about 2 web designers. One name's Jack, the other one named Jill. Okay.
Hey, I was Jack last week.
Yeah, you were. That's right. Yeah. I didn't ask your permission to use your story, so I just decided to use Jack. Okay. We'll get to that later today. Jack is a web designer. And Jack goes in and he got to introduce himself and he says, tell me, what's the goal of your website? And he goes, what you guys just talked about. Exactly what do you want your website to do, right? And the guy says this. Okay, and you take notes, and you come back and pull up a website. Jill says, you know what? I know more about website design than my client, my prospect, client, whatever it is. He says, and Jill goes in and says, before you tell me what you're looking for, let me tell you all the things that websites can do today that they couldn't do 5-10 years ago. And she spends 3 to 5 minutes talking about all the new things that are now possible that were not possible 5 years ago. And then she says to the client, now what would you like your website to do? You will get a much different answer to Jill than you will to Jack. Jack got the answer of what the guy or the client thinks the website can do, either because he doesn't know better. Jill will say, wow, since you said that, well, I'd also like this. And so that's where I'm coming from.
Okay, I will introduce you to one of my clients who absolutely would throw you out the door if you tried to educate him about websites.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe he's a rare individual, which he is. He's the guy that we designed a real upscale site for, and he approved it along the way and then just changed his mind and said, I want my old site back. Yeah. I like it better. And I go,
I think I'd be in that category. I wouldn't throw you out the door, but I would kind of say, listen, I don't need to know all the new stuff, but here's what I want you to do for me. Now, you can put the new stuff in it, but you know, I maybe the old me, the new me would be with you, Frank, but the old me would have said, hey, don't tell me about that stuff. I don't care. I want a website that's going to get me business or this or that. And
okay.
You're the expert, so you go design it.
Okay.
So I think it could go either way.
You know, I had I always talk about an online brochure versus a website that will make you money. I've actually had clients say, I don't want to make any money off the website. I don't even want anybody to find it, but I want to direct them there when I want them to look at it. How weird is that? I mean, that's counter to everything we do. What's the object of a website? It's to get them to take action. What's the action you want? You want a phone call? You want an email? Want them to walk in? What? And that has to be said forthright. I think anyway on the website and everything gets dialed in. That ad copy is to get them excited enough to take action.
Okay.
You know, I've got one guy who he's got an online brochure, and I'm going to get hacking in there next week and start trying to change it and get some call to actions and that kind of stuff. You know, clients come in every flavor too.
Yeah.
You know. Gosh almighty, it's crazy. Okay, go for it, Frank.
You ready?
Yeah, hit me again.
This is right around the turn of the last century, not this century, the last century. There was this rancher, and that was looking to increase his team, his horses to deliver his goods to his clients, his customers. And he had two vendors vying for his business. One was Kit Carson, the other one was Henry Ford. And Kit Carson says, what are you looking for? And the rancher says, well, exactly what I wanted. And the guy wanted a faster horse. That's what he wanted. Henry Ford comes in and says, well, before you tell me what you want, let me tell you what I'm working on. And you know what the guy wanted? A Model T. He just didn't know that was possible.
Right. And I think that comes along with the client because, in my, I don't know how many websites you sold.
0. That's
okay,
easy.
There you go.
0.
But I have long since stopped trying to steer them in directions. I do my final course correction at the very end of, let's talk about what you want your website to do. You get through those things, and like in the case of Carrie Anderson, she wanted Tiffany blue background as a color palette because it's connected to who she sells for, another realtor who just redid their website to Tiffany blue. So these are the kinds of things you'd find out along the way. I don't particularly like the Tiffany blue color, but then again, I'm colorblind, so what I see and what they see are what completely two different things. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But each one's different from,
Yeah.
you know. One thing that's interesting is that you brought up in your talk was, are you really interested in your business? Are you really serious about your business?
Right.
I've got people who aren't serious about their business. I'm more serious than they are.
And
Uh,
how are they as clients?
Pardon me?
How are they as clients?
Um, well, I stopped trying to increase their business.
Yeah.
I stopped wasting my time trying to help them. Um, a current client that I have right now, I'm trying to get him to go network, and he's too busy to build his business to network. But you want more business, so how do
Right.
you plan to do that? You know, what's your plan, Stan? And he didn't have one. So it's just funny because I think sometimes we worry more about their business than they do. And as a web designer, I'm not a web designer. I market people. I'm a marketing guy that uses the webs to make them money. That's what I do. Well, you know what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So a web designer would just do exactly what she's talking about, except for she crossed the line. That they have to be serious about their business. She crossed the line, and that's a fine line. Of you can have somebody design your website, and it will look gorgeous. It'll be a great, beautiful online brochure that will drive no traffic at all.
Right.
Right. We've had this conversation. So if you're going to have a website, you should know what the purpose is, and the designer or whoever you get to build it should be hitting the mark for you, for what you want to have. And so, anyway,
Okay.
the other thing she left off, in my opinion, keywords are the most important thing, or key phrases. That's the most important thing about a website, period. Otherwise, Google doesn't know who you are.
Yeah, well, she covers content and search engine strategies. Maybe that's what she meant by that
Maybe
category.
that's where she put it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's I'm guessing
Exactly.
that's what she put it.
Yeah, I would say, if you ask me if the number one thing about a website, got to have good keywords, period.
Okay.
Everything hovers around that. Your entire web strategy hovers around it. And you continue to add them like Dick is by blogging on your site and adding more keywords or key phrases to get ranked, et cetera. It's a game. It's the chase, it's the paper chase.
Mm-hmm.
But there you go. Dick, did you have something you wanted to talk about?
Well, I really not specific, but I think we're going to talk about our presentation at Perch Thursday.
Right.
Yes.
But Peter, you talk a lot about sales prevention things, and I'm going to be very vague because I don't want to get someone in trouble who's related to me. But this gentleman is their top sales guy, and he's got to go to a 3-day training that says relationships are no longer driving sales. And
What?
I said, can you get out of it? It's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable.
That's stupid.
Yeah, they're sending him a new phone that is going to track where he is every minute of the day. Well, he's the top sales guy in the whole Eastern Seaboard, and it goes to what we talked about at Perch with I think with don't get out of the way of the sales. Don't be a hindrance to when you got a guy that's producing, let him produce and let him keep growing it. And
should be trying to figure out what he's doing right.
Yeah,
and duplicating the damn thing.
Absolutely.
Instead of sending him to a dumbed down 3-day seminar.
And I said, what's it about? He says, relationships no longer drive sales. No, it's people he's been selling to. He's known them for 20 years. They just give him, they give him business, and it's just crazy. And I think that what companies are doing is they're just taking a lot of the technology and rather than enhancing their productivity, they're getting in the way of their productivity. It's just crazy. It's just so.
We've coined the term of that as a sales prevention team.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as he said it to me, I told him that, and so it's really crazy. And I've traveled from California to a preparation of this segment, but I know we want to talk about our presentation at Perch, and I think that kind of would be where I would want to go, because I had some distinct impressions leaving there that I didn't have previous to that. And as you and Frank both know, I wasn't really sold on this presentation. Not so much the format, but just, why would anybody want to listen to me talk for 15 minutes? But it turns out it looks like it was a very successful presentation that we're going to expand on. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Let me set the stage then, if we're going to head for back several years ago. Dick and I had attended a tax seminar thing. Well, actually, we went there to listen to the keynote speaker on social media, which this person was a used car salesman, literally, and everything he said was wrong. And if you did half of what he said, you'd get banned off Google. And we were walking out of there, and I was just so depressed because this is the best that they can give. Yeah. And here we are, which was actually the reason why this podcast ever got started was that moment as well, that, we need to give people a different way of looking at things here in the Valley. And I said, well, let's do what we call the 20-20-20 plan. In martial arts, when I had my school, my biggest school anyway, I got depressed one day because I'm teaching the same stuff. I'm teaching, kids class. I'm teaching adults class, and I had all these other things I could teach, but it's just not on. Can't do it. In the current format, if I had 80 topics, you'd have 80 classes, and then some people would never show up for those classes, and you would lose a lot of people. So I said, what if? Whoa, Frank. I said, what if you think out of the box? What if you had classes that were only 20 minutes long, and then you take the 80 courses that I wanted to teach and spread that through this maze of 20-20-20 plan? So, ergo, the concept of getting people on the cutting edge, and we're not supposed to say that word anymore, but people that actually are out practicing good stuff for businesses. If we could get them all together as a teacher, but you only get 20 minutes, and you really only get 15 minutes because you leave 5 minutes for Q&A, questions and answers. So that was the format, and what it forced us to do is, if you can only teach for 15 minutes, you got to take whatever you really want and boil it down to its absolute simplest thing that has the highest value, and it's kind of like Frank says, the 27-second sell. You worked with me, Frank, for weeks to boil down all that it is that I do to get it into one concise statement, and that's what the 20-20-20 plan did. And then Dick got after me because we never found a spot. I never did it. I always talked about it, didn't do anything. I did something. Okay, I'm sick of this. And we did it at Perch. Perch was so kind to us, which is a high-end home furnishing store in Rancho Mirage, for those that don't know it, and phenomenal team. Jim Murdoch's the general manager there. He said, well, we'll have a continental breakfast for your guys and everything at no charge. Well, it wasn't even a continental breakfast. We walked in there, Chef Mark cooking for us. It was amazing. It was just amazing, the layout that they gave us, and off we went. And so I'll almost stop talking, but I went out first, and no one had any questions about websites. Darn it, But and everybody, I think, everybody enjoyed the format, and it was so fast that they were never going to get bored. Such condensed topics, or not topics. We talked on 4 things, but the condensed lessons on those topics was amazing. So, what was your result, Dick? What do you think?
Well, my result was, I started, 15 minutes, and I want to talk about leadership and entrepreneurship and kind of my background and what I've learned since I've become an entrepreneur in the home-based business. So I started, and I think I probably had about 12 versions of what I was going to say, and each one of them I record on my phone and listen to them. I said, oh, that's not good if I go back. And I got all the way down to 5 o'clock Thursday morning, listening to what I thought was the final pitch, and I said, no, not good enough. It's not precise enough. So I did another one and recorded. And then when I get up to do my 15-minute pitch, I kind of changed on the fly based upon some of the things that were said earlier and all, and also. So I learned a lot myself. Just what your concept was, how to work your concept. I found that that the people that came, and Frank really got almost everyone there from his Tuesday morning group, were very interested and asked some questions, and I felt as though they were interested in what we had to say. So I guess what I learned was, we've been doing these podcasts for well over a year now, and I've learned so much by being on them from Peter and Frank and then our guests. And what I learned was that people are looking for information. They're not looking to be sold to. They're not looking to be preached to. But they're all businessmen. Most of them were probably solopreneurs type of people. But people are looking for information that help them become better business people. And I think the concept we did and the material we did hit that pretty much on the mark. I got some feedback from one of the people there, and he said he was surprised it was better than he thought it would be. It was very good, and he's looking forward to the next one. So I learned a lot that that if I have some experience, I have something that could help someone. Like you've always said, Peter, you got to help people. They're there to listen, and I think we did a great job of not selling, not preaching. Just say, hey guys, here's the experience that we've had in each one of our fields, and it might help you in yours. And I think they were very receptive to that.
Right. I think also, we'll come over to Frank for 2 seconds, but I think the people listening, well, why would you do it if you're not selling something? Well, it's
Right.
building a relationship with them, which sells, because when they do want to buy, who are they going to come to? They're going to come to the people that have been trying to help them, by the means we're doing. That's the idea, anyway. And I think it's going to work out great. Frank, what were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, well, a couple of things. First of all, I learned a lot myself on my topic just by preparing 15 minutes. It's amazing how much stuff you think is important is not as important when you got to cut it out.
Right.
Steve Jobs says the reason why Apple is so, obviously when he was alive, so successful at what they do, it's not because of the things they put in, it's because of the things they don't put in. Mm. So, they zero the one button on the iPhone, that type of thing. And so I learned a lot, because when you got to narrow it down to 12 to 15 minutes, everything's important until you don't have time. And then it's all of a sudden it's not. So so I learned a lot before we arrived on Thursday morning. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed again, Jim and his staff at Perch were beyond expectations. It just blew us away, and it blew our audience away too. I met with these people this Tuesday morning, because they're part of my Tuesday morning group, some of them anyway. And to a person, very, very complimentary. Comments that they heard was, I like it because there was no pressure. You guys weren't selling anything. We were just trying to help us. Another comment was, I made some connections there, but people who met, I think it was Jim Murdoch and you, but some of them didn't know you, and Dick, one or two didn't know you, and Gordon. And then the other comment I heard was probably one of the best meetings they've ever been to, where they got value out of it in a short, concise period of time, and they're looking forward to the next one. So I was very proud to be associated with it, and Peter, I'll thank you again. I thanked you in an email. You did a lot of work in planning, putting this together, and I thank you for that as well.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. The other thing that I did was I do after every martial arts class. I line them up, and I go down the line, and I ask them, "What'd you learn that you liked?" And I'm looking for the one specific thing was oh wow moment, and it was really interesting as I walked through the crowd, so to speak, down the tables, and asked each one, It put them on the spot a bit, but we did get some interesting feedback. And a business plan. For those that weren't there, my topic was websites, and Frank's topic was 27-second selling. Dick's topic was on entrepreneurs and leadership, and then Gordon's topic was on business plans. And Gordon used to do it for a living, and he was scaring the heck out of me, always saying, "Oh, it's a 3-hour talk, but you got to cut down to 2.5 hours. No, you got 15 minutes, but I'm bringing my taser and a hook, and I'm going to hook you right off the stage." And I told him that too. You're coming off. We even had a little egg timer thing going there, so we could not run over, and we actually ended up early. But everybody to a person learned something, and vocalized that. It was great. I thought it was great.
One of the guys in the Tuesday morning group who I've been with him, Dick, over a year, and I talk about more or less the same thing every week. And I think he stopped listening. Let me tell you why I think that. To me, when during the group, and I don't blame him, by the way, because I stopped listening after a while to myself. I did my talk on 27-second was networking on Thursday, and he went to a networking luncheon at the same place the next day. And I did not go. I saw him Tuesday morning. He sat across my table, and I said, "What do you think?" He says, his first words out of his mouth, he said, "I sat with somebody who should have listened to your talk the day before on Perch." And he had never mentioned any of that to me in over a year. Yeah. But because he heard it in a different format, and I had 50 minutes as opposed to 30 seconds to expound upon what I wanted to talk about, 5 days later, he remembered it, and he said, "I want to let you know that this guy did not follow your rules, your 3 rules." And that made me feel good, because he remembered 5 days later what I talked about. And so it was effective.
So would you share the Jack story?
What?
At Perch.
Oh.
You said there's a guy named Jack.
Oh, yeah. A little tease. I have 3 parts to my 27 seconds: a 7-second, 17-second, or 27-second. The 27-second is I talk about Steven Spielberg, and I said, and I'll count. We got a couple of minutes. I said Spielberg does great movies, but the movies sell not only because they're great, just like your business is great, and you guys are great at what you do. It's because of the movie trailer that promotes the business. I said, when you're at a networking event and you found someone who's interested first before you tell them, hit them with your movie trailer and make them want to see a movie, or in this case, make them want to have a meeting with you to see if you can do that for them. Right. And so I said, let me give you an example of my Spielberg movie trailer. And I talked about this guy named Jack. You want me to tell the story?
Yeah, tell the story.
Yeah, this guy, I told him, I said, name's been changed to protect the innocent. This guy named Jack had been going to the same weekly networking breakfast meeting for over a year. And not only did he not get any referrals, he didn't get one piece of business. Now, what I didn't add is that nobody really liked him, but I didn't want to throw that in. Okay.
Well,
I said, so I spent time with Jack and told him the 27 seconds, so forth. The very next networking breakfast meeting he went to, at the end of that meeting, half of the people in the audience stood in line waiting to talk to Jack to see if he could help him. And that was my 27-second Spielberg trailer.
And I was sitting at the table, and
and I hadn't told you I was going to sell that story.
No,
no.
I told the guys, if he doesn't tell that story, I'm going to get up and interject myself into his talk, okay. And I would have, and I did.
Yeah, you did.
I got up and I said, let me introduce myself. They'd all sting me already. I said,
right.
I'm Jack.
Right.
And then I went to tell the exact story.
Right.
That it was just like you said. Wherever we went, people ask what I do. Do webs and social media. I got that, and they marginalize you immediately. And then you got my story, which my story is, let me tell you about my Canadian clients, Doug and Annalisa. They had a website for 10 years, didn't make a dime off of it. And after working with me for 6 weeks, their first year annual salary on their new website was $185,000 of income. and shut up and sit down, and that's the story. And mentally, where it takes people is, I wonder if you could do that for me. And that was the power of what you taught me, and it has changed my life. And I thank you for that. But they all heard it. But you weren't aware that I was going to get up and
no, I was not.
You. If you didn't tell that story, they needed to hear that.
Yeah, it worked out well. It was well received by our audience, and I'm looking forward to the next one, and so are they. And I believe they'll invite more people.
Oh yeah,
it was that good.
No question.
I was proud to be a part of this group. Very proud.
Yeah, for having never done it, or never witnessing the power of the 20-20-20 plan, I think all the presenters individually have told me they really liked it. Dick, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did. Like I said, I learned a lot of myself getting ready for it. Like, Frank went through the same experience of realizing, just what is important to say and what isn't important to say. And at network meetings now, I've even taken it further now. When someone says, "What do you do?" I say, "I have a home-based business." And I didn't. If they're interested, they'll ask me what it is. If they're not, they won't. So,
bingo.
Yeah. And its roots obviously were from martial arts, and not only topic-wise, but when you only have 15 minutes to teach something, if it's knife fighting, what are the 3 most important things you got to teach? And because that's what's going to happen on the street. So I hope it's going to continue to grab hold and help out businesses and chambers of commerces and things like that. That's my hope.
Well, I think it will, and we got some plans. I got some plans in place with the La Quinta Chamber to get them more involved. So,
right. And then we're also probably going to add a presenter or 2, so we'll have a little bit longer, but a more varied topics again, which I think are really, really important. Yes. So that's a cool part. If anybody gets sick, we can just swap one person for another. It's almost self-healing. It's almost self-healing. All right. Anything else, guys?
That's it.
Say goodnight, Dick.
Good night, Dick.
Good night, Dick.
All right. Hang on, guys.